in a nutshell, these new guidelines, in some instances, the federal government is saying it is okay to discriminate if you bring a religious objection, even though we have certain types of anti-discrimination laws. So I want you to talk a little bit about that irony, and then to tee up a case that's currently before the Supreme Court, which is bringing religious liberty back into the forefront of a potential landmark decision, and that's the Masterpiece Cake Shop case. And if you could, set the scene for that very quickly, and what are some of the implications, and more importantly, and then this, I want you to talk about this, Asifa, is why should American Muslims care?
So the first thing we have to look is the big picture, and that is there is something happening to America that no other human civilization has experienced, as far as I know, in history. And that is, in 2012, Protestants, for the first time in American history, became a minority. That means we are a nation of religious minorities. No generation, no government has ever had the burden or the challenge of governing a nation of religious minorities. So when we're talking about these various things, the trend is this grief and fear of a loss of power and a majority status. In the Hobby Lobby case, if that owner were Muslim and brought forward to the US Supreme Court saying it is my religious belief that I should not be required to pay for contraception to an insurance plan that would go to my female employees for contraception, he would have never won because he was Muslim, right? But because he was Christian, it's a legitimate claim. So this is the irony that we're facing, and this is also the irony coming before the Supreme Court with the Masterpiece case. As many of you know, this is the question of, can a baker, or in other cases, a florist or an innkeeper or a stationery shop owner refuse to participate in the same-sex couple's wedding by selling them a cake or having their stationery or having their wedding be on their community farm or something. Round approach where liberty, true.
This is hard for American Muslims because it's very easy to get distracted by the substance of the litigation having to do with gay marriage. And so Muslims may have an instinct, those who are conservative Muslims who believe a certain way about gay marriage not being a Muslim practice, they instinctively may feel aligned with the cake baker. And there's a danger in that, and that is that the precedent of law that would get established could very easily, and given your description of who wins and who loses, probably very easily would be used against Muslims. So an individual cake baker may say, I believe Islam is a threat to the United States. It's my religious belief that I must try to reject this in any possible form and refuse any number of services.
The question before the court now is, can a business owner who is required to uphold non-discrimination laws in public accommodation have a religious view and saying, I will not serve this couple in that context because of my views of marriage? Either we have non-discrimination laws or we don't. Either we have equal protection under the law or we don't. This is what it means to say, I am not free until you are free. It means to know thy history. It means to know who is the suspect minority of the day and to see which patterns are being replicated so that when we go to the public square, we can participate in the legal education, in the religious literacy education, so as to, if nothing else, stop being hypocritical. And that's what our society needs most right now.
So this is the message, that how can we take this forward and help and be a part of American society? It's not just, and I agree, join your local city council, do the kind of community service, yes. But also, if you're really understanding Islam, you should be an example of how to not be afraid of difference, because both American history and Muslim history have been at our worst when we tried to create uniformity and rigidity from the top down. And we've always thrived at our best when we could figure out how to live with each other with respect for that diversity. So go out and expose yourself to difference. And the thing is that you don't lose yourself when that happens. You actually grow from the experience and you keep your own values. It doesn't mean this is the thing. I'm afraid I'm gonna lose my values if I talk to somebody who's different. No, I'll actually grow and become a deeper, fuller person, stronger in my values, but also stronger and deeper in my ability to respect